Hi, welcome to MTurk Guide. This webcast is going to be about a requester named Eric Vanim-Botting, I think, and the automobile logo identification. This particular requester has a bunch of different hits that he puts out on a periodic basis. They're around license plates, vehicles. Usually it entails looking at the back end of a vehicle, a picture of a back end of a vehicle, and basically doing some identification of either the type of car or the license plate type, meaning state, that type of thing. So these are quick hits generally. He puts out fairly large batches. And the timers are long, 7-day timers. So, I picked these up earlier today with the intent of doing just this webcast. So I figured it would be as good a time at any to do it tonight and get it out of my queue. But, with a 7-day timer, you could leave a few in your queue. The base pay is not huge. It's a cent, but these are quick. Once you get into a groove with them, you just go. As with anything, the first time you do them, you look over the directions. If you know manufacturers of cars, I do. It's just a weird thing. I know cars and I know manufacturers, so I'm pretty good with that. These should be pretty easy if you know that. If you don't, you might have a little bit of a harder time picking through them. If you really don't know cars at all, I might suggest these aren't the best for you, but definitely give it a try. Okay, so through the directions very quickly. There's no logo. There's a no logo button right here. Select the manufacturer. If there's one that's not on the list, which I think that like Pontiac, which is no longer manufactured by GM, is not on the list. So that would be a not, that would be an other. If you're not sure, not sure. And then you want to highlight the logo. I'll show you how to do that. And that just shows you kind of want to keep it as small as possible without obscuring it in any way. So you just want to keep it kind of tight. So I know this is a Volkswagen. So I see the match here, Volkswagen. So I'm going to go ahead and select Volkswagen, and I already didn't do that very well, so we'll go back. But I'll show you how you just do the 4 points, and you can see I didn't really do that very well. And then the thing about these is that when you click afterwards, it clicks wherever you click. So this time I got to be very conscientious about where I click. What you want to do is you want to click kind of above and out to the side a bit, because they're like 3D boxes almost, where they will. If you make the dot a little lower, it will the boxes will get kind of slanty, almost like if you were drawing a 3D box on paper. So see where I did it again. So I'm going to do that one more time. I know this must be thrilling for everybody out there to watch me making little dots. So I'm going to make it a little bigger because I clearly am just not doing it very well. So that's pretty good. It's not great, but I've never been rejected for a bad rectangle or square or whatever. So yeah, so I did it, and then I'm going to hit save, and I'll do a couple of these real quick so you can see how I do them. Not overly exciting, and yeah, this first time I'm doing them slowly because I've got you guys on the horn here, if you will. But yeah, it's a Toyota. So Toyota. Usually I would fly through these, and frankly, my attention to detail on the boxes is as long as it's clearly in the box and not obscuring it in any way, I just roll with it. It's not about precision on this one. You just want to make sure it's as clean as you can make it. Okay, this is a Chrysler, and when I look at Chrysler, they're up here. So this will be a little bit tougher, and I'll have to make the box bigger than I normally would because this is kind of far away. But again, like I said, if you don't know these, it's going to be a little bit harder. This is not something I'd suggest you go and research or anything, because that could be difficult. So Dodge. Interesting about Dodge, the way they have their logo. You see it's the two lines, and a lot of the old Dodges don't have that logo. So I'm going to go ahead, use my discretion and put this logo in there. Sometimes you have to make decisions. I'm comfortable with this requester. I've done a lot of his hits. So if you're not comfortable with it, just return it. There's no penalty for returning these. This is a Ford. This one's pretty easy. There's no penalty for returning these as there is with some of the Google requesters. So don't worry about that too much. If you don't like it, you're not comfortable with it, just go ahead and return it. Okay, so that one's a Ford. That one's an easy one. Let's see what they got next for me. Probably do one or two more and then I'll just wrap it up. Okay, what do we got here? Another Ford. Okay, easy peasy. So another Ford. This one's kind of a picture of a picture. There's no rules in this one of like the picture can't be this or can't be that. There might not be a car in there sometimes, in which case, there would be, you would put, not sure, other, oh, no logo, sorry. No logo. I apologize for that. I had a momentary lapse there. Okay, Toyota. And all of the hits from this requester are very similar to this. It's identify, put a box around it, save, go on. So pretty predictable. There's another Toyota, I believe. But I don't see the Toyota logo on this one. Okay, so here's an example where I'm going to go and say, because that actually says Celica, it doesn't say Toyota. It says Toyota right here, but I'm going to go with no logo for this one. There's no regularity to when this drops. This requester has gone off the radar for a long time and then come back. He's just recently come back. It's September of 2016 for those that are may be watching this at a later date. And he was around last spring, but then he kind of fell off the radar for a little bit and now he's back. So that's when you kind of, if you like him, you want to keep your pandas running, or, if you see him on Hit Scrape, return on the panda so that you can grab a few. And these are ideal if it's slow. You can just fly through them if you're, as I said, if it's something you have some knowledge of. You can see that I pretty much know from looking at the car exactly what the manufacturer is. Again, not sure why, but I do. So, also, I was just looking at this. Oh, sorry about that. Qualifications are none. Perfect for a newbie. Perfect for somebody who's just getting going. Buick. Let's see. Is there the actual Buick logo on here? I do not see it at all. Okay, so I'm going to go with no logo on that one. That's a good question because it says Buick right there. But I don't actually see. I'm going to put not sure on this one. I'm going to say not sure on this one because, oh crap. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to put, did I say crap? Sorry. I'm going to put, okay, not sure. So you can see, yeah, there's definitely a little bit of, you may have to make some decisions. And for 1 cent, that may not be worth it to you, especially if you have low numbers. But for me, I have enough where I could, if I happen to get a rejection from him, I could absorb it pretty much right away. But yeah, I certainly don't want anybody making willy-nilly decisions on my advice. I'm just, to me, my interpretation of this is he wants the actual logos present, not just the words. But I could be wrong. So, and that's information I would strive to share. I would probably redo this webcast, or I would put a note in the description if I was to receive a rejection, so that people are aware that's going on. Or I would put it on the Facebook page that I have. MTurk guide, same name. Just so people are aware. I mean, that's definitely my goal, is to have some sort of real-time, information going to people who are out there turking on a daily basis. So, that would be something I would share. But I've yet to receive a rejection from this requester. So, yeah, so I think I have a bunch left in my queue. And I don't have a whole lot else to say about this. I do find it to be, it's pretty simple. GMC is luckily just the actual GMC letters, so that one's a little easier. Alrighty, we'll save that one. Actually, I'll just run through these last few for you. You might not have a lot to say about it, but I will do it so that you can see the different examples. Occasionally you get a picture of not a car. It's a horrible picture. I mean, this isn't the greatest picture in the world. I happen to know this is a Nissan Sentra. Not everybody might know that. But sometimes you get a picture of like nothing. So it is what it is. You can either return it or just put, no logo. A lot of people will ask, why am I categorizing this or doing this? These people have their reasons. I don't know what they are exactly. I don't do a lot of questioning of why I do the things that I do on MTurk. I just do them and accept my reward, my 1 penny. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people wonder why. There's, the surveys, it's very easy because the informed consent will tell you why you're doing something for the most part. But these type of data categorization and, that type of stuff, they generally don't give you whole lot of information as to why, because they're not governed like a lot of these schools are about, what information they have to share with the people who are participating. So you don't really get that same level of information on these. These tend to be very to the point about the task and the expectations and all that. So yeah. Okay, this is a Land Rover. Technically, Range Rover is part of Land Rover, but usually the logo is down here somewhere, but I actually don't see it. So I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna put the Range Rover logo in. Yeah, the Range Rover logo in, and I'm gonna put not sure because I don't know how they want to categorize that Land Rover, Range Rover thing. So there's an example where, I just kind of happen to know that, but I can't really, again, not knowing exactly what they're trying to do with this data, I'm hesitant to just box it in as a Land Rover when it's not. Okay, there we go. Those are all done. I have no other hits. So hopefully that was helpful. I was probably a little long for what it is, but sometimes people also like to see me just do a hits through a queue so you can see how I manage it. I was thinking of doing like a live webcast someday where I just kind of like go through maybe 20 minutes of turking on a given day where I'm just kind of going through hits, finding hits, executing hits, except for surveys, which I can't do live because sharing survey content is a no-no. But if I were doing batch work, I might just do it live and then record it. But you guys could see I probably wouldn't talk my way through it. I would just kind of go heads down and do whatever work is out there. But you guys could see how I kind of manage hit scraper and auto accepting with, Panda Crazy and all that. So if that's something people would be interested in, I definitely could do that. If you have any other ideas, please let me know. Please like the Facebook page if you happen to be on Facebook. I do intend to put a lot of information there. And I'm hoping to build up the amount of information that's out there for folks so that you can be as successful as possible with turking. So I appreciate you joining, and I look forward to hearing about your successes. Thanks.